we have the privilege of introducing you to some terrific Canadians.
Volunteers who give of their time to make our communities better.
In the spirit of respect and truth, we acknowledge that we are filming on the traditional unceded territories of the Nuu-chah-nulth people, Tsesha and Hupesishet First Nations. We honor our relationship with the Tsesha and Hupesishet, as well as all other First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people who reside in the Alberni Valley.
Hello, I'm Major Michael Ramsay of the Salvation Army.
And I'm his daughter, Heather. We're excited to bring you this collection of stories about volunteers, something that we know a bit about.
Virtually everything that I do in my role with the Salvation Army involves volunteers.
And I'm often one of those volunteers. It can be a lot of fun.
Our first feature is from Dryden, Ontario, where Tommy Johnson brings us the story of a young man who is definitely having fun in his role as a volunteer play-by-play announcer.
He's having a blast.
This is Dryden's time. This is Dryden's moment. 10 seconds ago, once again, the Ice Dogs are best of the Northwest. You can't put it like home.
I was not a very outgoing person as a child. I wasn't very outgoing until I started volunteering in the community and meeting people. And now some people say I won't shut up. Community comes first. I don't do it for the praise. I don't do it for the accolades. I do it for the community.
Yeah, baby!
I was born and raised in Calgary, Alberta, and my family had season tickets to the Calgary Flames, so I'd go to all the games, all the home games at a very, very young age. But of course, when the team hits the road, I would just sit there in my room just listening to the hockey game. I became such a fan that my mother actually contacted the radio station and wanted to know if I could go up there into the broadcast booth and just see how it worked. During one of the breaks, Peter Maher looks at me, he goes, "Do you want to go on air?" I grabbed the mic and just started calling the hockey game, and he looks at me, he goes, "Well, you're a natural." And you know what, after that, it's just the love of the game and something that just stuck with me forever. I'm usually here about 2 hours before a game. I go over all my notes. I go over the stats, player bios. I will do my prep work. I'll go through the rosters. But once it's time to turn the mic on, I just get into that zone, and I know I'm providing a service for the community.
He has a chance in scores! Coast to coast, like butter on toast!
Everything I do now is all volunteer, and I wouldn't trade it in for anything. I do it because the kids, this is the age when this is going to be their biggest memories of their life. And to be a part of that, to be like a family member, it's truly special. 90% of the friendships I've gained, they're going to be my lasting friends forever, and all because of the play-by-play, and all because of sports reporting. And it's just something you can't put into words, really. It just warms my heart. The greatest part of my day is coming to the arena. It's just those moments that make it so, so special. Yes, would I someday like to move on to a bigger level for play-by-play? Sure.
Test 1, 2, test 1, 2.
If it came along, that'd be great, but right now my heart is here in the community.
Good evening, hockey fans from across Sunset Country, wherever you're watching across North America. Here we go. It's the Ice Dogs and Hammer fighting Walleye, the rematch.
Mike really loves what he's doing, and it sounds like his life has been changed by the time spent volunteering.
It's true, volunteering can be a powerful experience, and it's pretty much always filling a need.
Our next feature is from Eric Steiner in Saskatoon. and tells the story of a woman who for 14 years has been filling a powerful need in her community.
Buenas tardes, Radio Luna. One of the things I enjoy the most about hosting is when people start phoning in saying, you're doing a beautiful job and I love the song you played and so on. That's the most enjoyable part, knowing that we're pleasing our listeners. My name is Bessie Aida Pino, and I've been a community radio volunteer host for over 14 years. I host a program here at CFCR called Radio Luna or Radio Luna. The program is in Spanish, so it's going mainly to the Spanish-speaking community or the Canadian people that want to learn Spanish. And it highlights mainly on music, culture, and news from all over Latin America. I grew up in Santiago, Chile, and listening to the radio ever since I can remember. Radio was so important for people to communicate with one another, which is something I try to do here in our show, not to just entertain, but educate and inform. Going back to my roots, I grew up being taught to appreciate where we come from. Being an immigrant here in Canada, not chosen because I didn't choose to come, we had to leave our country, made a huge difference. And I was so scared that I was gonna lose my language.
Ahora a Rosario, en Argentina, escuchar.
It's so important. If you don't know where you come from and it's not a cliche, you don't know where you're going. And that's very important for me. Doing volunteer work, I think, is very important for many reasons. The number one is that you can't expect always to have a monetary reward for what you do as a person. It's a lovely way to give back to your community, and you get lots in return, like people recognize you, people appreciate you, most of the people, and you're giving something they need. I feel like I'm talking to somebody out there, and if they phone in, even better, like, oh, so-and-so is listening. Or if they send us a message through social media or text. And people listen from different countries too. That's very nice, from Chile, from Argentina, from Puerto Rico, you know, so that's beautiful. Volunteering is very good because it makes us feel good about ourselves, but at the same time it makes other people feel good. It's good to just give it a try, not only in radio, like volunteering, anything that you feel that you could give a little bit of your time.
León Gieco con Solo le pido a Dios. Con mucho cariño, de Radio Luna.
Wow, I can't imagine how important it would be for people who have moved so far away from their homeland to hear that radio broadcast in their own language.
So true, Heather. Hearing Spanish being spoken would help people with a sense of belonging. And that's pretty much what our next feature is all about.
Janice Gummerson of Thunder Bay brings us the story of a very special coach whose time spent volunteering has as much to do with belonging as it does with basketball.
Okay, good job. Hey! In my dream life, I don't work and I just volunteer and I give back because I wish I had more free time because I would give back to different organizations, but Special Olympics has my heart. What I love about coaching Special Olympics is a relationship I have with the athletes. Sport, I think, brings people together. It creates friendships, it creates leadership. And for some of our athletes, it's everything, it means the world to them. So I think seeing how happy sport makes them and the friendships that create, and I think the family that we create is really special, and I really, really love that my kids coach with me for all sports, yeah. My kids were 16 and 18 when they started coaching with me, so I think it's made a huge difference in their lives in the way that they see the impact that they can make on people's lives through sport, and not only through sport, but just through showing up and being there on a weekly basis and showing our athletes that they care about them.
Coaching with my mom, it showed me that growing up doesn't mean just being selfish and looking out for yourself, but it also means to be open to new experiences and to be open to help other people when they need it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, all the way. Take your time. You got time. All of the athletes have my number. You can ask my kids. They call quite often. For some of them, I'm kind of like a mom or a second mom to them, and they phone me with their problems or when their parents are sick or they have boyfriend or girlfriend problems or just when they're feeling a little bit lonely. So yeah, that's what kind of drives me to constantly be open with the athletes and to be there for them.
Rebound. Yeah, go up.
I think volunteering is really important. I was told by my grandmother to give back to your community will be the most important thing that you do. So that really stuck with me at the age of 13. And I've always given back in different ways to the community that I've been living in. I just think it makes you a better person.
My mom is easily the best person that I know. She is the most caring human being on the planet. My mom has affected my life in the most positive, beautiful way possible because every single day I just try and emulate exactly who she is.
I was nominated and won Coach of the Year for Ontario Special Olympics. And through that, I got, I guess, put in the pool for Coach of the Year for Canada, and I won that award as well. I think anyone who knows me knows I don't need that kind of recognition. I kind of shy away from it. But it was a really sweet honor, and it was really nice to be nominated by my community for Coach of the Year Canada. So it was really great. I think my experience with coaching Special Olympics has changed my life in a way that you really, you can really understand what matters in life and the complete joy that it brings to the athletes' lives and to our lives is kind of the why I do it, and I'll probably continue to do it for forever.
Special Olympics is such a great organization. It's easy to see how you could fall in love with coaching the athletes. It just means so much to them.
In fact, volunteering can often be as beneficial to the volunteer as it is to the organization they're supporting.
James Farnan brings us the story of a woman who has been volunteering with the Healthcare Auxiliary in Cranbrook for 18 years, and it means the world to her.
You can't sit at home idly and do nothing. You have to be engaged. You have to have a purpose for living every day, for getting up every day. Otherwise, life can be so quiet. My husband was diagnosed with esophagus cancer, and we were constantly in and out of the hospital here in Cranbrook. The services are amazing, and they cover everything you need. When he passed away, one of the things I wanted to do was to give back. I was sitting at home with no relatives in town and nothing to do. A good friend put me in touch with the hospital auxiliary, and I joined when they were building the new wing onto the hospital and started there on the information desk. It's a very awkward thing to go through the hospital when you're sick and you don't know where you're going, you don't know where the departments are, and you're just completely bewildered. So it's lovely to have a volunteer with you and say, come on, I'll take you over there, talk to them nicely, help them through. That's what drew me in, because I'd been down that road.
There are the three components to the auxiliary, and that is the volunteers who work in the hospital, the gift shop, and the thrift store. A lot of our volunteers are widows. This gives them a sense of belonging, to be able to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And for some people, it's a re-entry back into society as a single individual.
We all have our regular duties. We talk back and forth. Everybody gets along well together. We all serve the same purpose. I have friends here that we get together for little gatherings. It's amazing, the friendships that you make through an organization like this. If you were just an old lady living at home, by joining the auxiliary, your time is so well spent. You meet friends and you have a purpose to live. You have a schedule to keep. You have a job to do.
But if you don't stay connected and involved, your mind goes places it doesn't need to go. You know, you have family or you have good friends, but sometimes you need more of a commitment. And volunteering here is more of a commitment because you actually commit yourself to a day, to a shift.
I like to put the remaining years of my life to a good cause. None of us know how long we're going to be able to go on and do what we're doing, but we'll do it for as long as we can do it. That's what volunteering is all about.
There are so many different volunteer roles. You could pretty much volunteer doing anything.
Whatever you're passionate about, there's probably a need for volunteers. Just take sports. Pretty much every amateur sports team has a volunteer coach, and often they're the parents of the players.
Our next feature comes from Paul Anderson in Thompson and tells the story of one parent who just kept on coaching.
Come in, guys, down on one knee over there.
Hey, my name is Dennis Rascaver. I've been coaching since 1981. The most important thing that I get out of volunteering is mainly meeting people, getting to know a whole bunch of kids, and having fun. At first, it was my children playing, so you go out, it's mainly for your kids, and then you finally start to learn that when you're a coach, they're all your kids.
Every time there's a whistle.
I got passionate about coaching I used to coach men's leagues in broomball, ball hockey, football. And then when my kids started playing sports, I started to quit playing everything else and just started coaching kids. I enjoy coaching kids because when they start looking at you when you're coaching and there's respect in their eyes, as you can watch their progression as the year goes on, from not knowing how to skate, not knowing anything about hockey, and learning about the game. It's a team game, and kids can learn. This is stuff that they learn at this age. If it's done properly, you can take it with you for the rest of your life. I love what I do, and I do what I love. It's simple.
It is so inspiring to hear about people who spent so many years volunteering.
When people step up to help out, they can make such a huge difference. Take our next feature from Kim Robinson in Victoria.
It's about a woman who realized that senior humans make great foster guardians for senior cats. So she started a whole volunteer organization to make it happen.
sound. All in all, that's all I need.
I was really starting this to help the cats, but I quickly realized that we actually were helping seniors just as much.
All in all, that's all I got.
I had made catnip mice for other rescues and then fostering, and before I knew it, I was totally involved. I wanted to start this rescue because after helping other rescues, I realized that the best homes were seniors, and yet they only wanted to foster because they were being very responsible based on their age. They didn't know how long they'd be around for the cat, so I decided to have a permanent foster program where they foster really forever. And that was with cats like Biggles, who have a few high needs, so not as adoptable. And yet they didn't care. They would foster a cat with any problem.
Time for your medication.
The only thing I have to buy is his litter. I don't have to buy his food or his medications, and I don't have to pay a vet.
Some of them donate as they can, a bit per month. And then I help with everything and take all the supplies and take the cat to the vet and do anything the cat needs so they don't worry about that.
Linda constantly fundraises, holding auctions on Facebook every weekend with donations people provide her. But a lot of the money comes from donations from the cat-loving community. Every little bit helps.
Sometimes you take the cat into the senior and their life literally transforms in a moment. That having this cat companion is just so important. So the cat, of course, picks up on that. And then it's just a fabulous relationship.
I feel that way because I'm not depressed, because I got a companion.
And some have even said they're alive today because they have the cat, that it's so important to them.
And he loves affection, and he knows I love him because I tell him several times a day.
Linda is an advocate for these cats that she has like no other. So fiercely loyal to these animals, and the bond that she has with these cats is also incredible. She gives her entire life.
I love cats, and now just seeing how much it benefits seniors, that really adds another level that I just keep doing it because, and also there isn't someone to just step in and replace me. So I just keep doing it because it's become a way of life.
What a great idea, placing older rescue cats with seniors.
A lot of volunteer situations and organizations start with great ideas. And one of those great ideas started right here in Port Alberni about 15 years ago.
Our own Nancy Wilmot brings us the story of a woman who saw a need and stepped up to fill it.
When my daughter was in elementary and middle school at the time, I was sending a second lunch because she was giving her food away. Like, there was a lot of kids that were just hungry, and you just start watching and looking and seeing that there is need for this. My daughter's 29, so yes, I'm still here, and people ask me how many kids I have, which is just the one, but I'm still here.
I think that's unreal for somebody to have that commitment. It's a full-time job for her.
Actually, I'm very good at delegating now. We have volunteers from the community mostly. I think there's probably close to 40. There's no way this could happen without them.
It is a 100% volunteer program. The volunteers are usually here about 7:30 in the morning to prepare for kids coming at 8 o'clock, and they serve hundreds of kids directly and probably a few hundred more indirectly. I don't know how it would function if Mel was not in this position.
Bagel? I think it's really important that there's an inclusive environment here where anybody can come in from any demographic, from any household, can come in and just eat and fill their belly.
We wanted no stigma to this program. We wanted to make sure that everybody is here just because if they're hungry, they eat. We don't ask why.
Relentless is a good word to describe Mel. I couldn't even put a time on how many hours a week she puts into it, but it's a lot.
She does lunch programs and backpack programs, and she gets all these donations so that, you know, like all the classrooms have fridges with extra food in them in case the youth get hungry. So it's really, yeah, it's amazing.
It's kind of morphed from breakfast to food throughout the day to students that might need a new pair of shoes or a jacket.
In the storeroom, I have hygiene stuff, I have school supplies, clothing, anything that the kids need to get over any barriers is available to them.
There's a cupboard full of prom dresses. A lot of families, once they have a child who goes through prom, they donate suits and dresses back to the school that Mel keeps and passes on.
She really cares about the kids in the school, like, and puts her whole heart and soul into it.
I grew up volunteering, so I believe that you should help out in your community as much as you can. It makes me feel great. It allows everyone in the school to get food. So it's really, really great community that we've built.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. It's been a lot of fun meeting so many volunteers across the country.
Here in Port Alberni, we rely on hundreds of volunteers to provide services, coach sports, stage plays, lead workshops. In fact, everything you can imagine, there are probably volunteers involved.
And you know, I can pretty much guarantee that there are groups in your community that could use some help.
Give it a try. You might be surprised at just how much you enjoy it.
And who knows, maybe we'll run into you.
Community comes first. I don't do it for the praise, I don't do it for the accolades, I do it for the community.
Yeah, baby! Being an immigrant here in Canada, not chosen because I didn't choose to come, we had to leave our country.
I think my experience with coaching Special Olympics has changed my life in a way that you really, you can really understand what matters in life.
We all have our regular duties. We talk back and forth. Everybody gets along well together.
Well, it's mainly for your kids, and then you finally start to learn that when you're coach, they're all your kids.
Every time there's a whistle.
Sometimes you take the cat into the senior and their life literally transforms in a moment. That having this cat companion is just so important.
We wanted no stigma to this program. We wanted to make sure that everybody is here just because if they're hungry, they eat. We don't ask why.
Coach sports, stage plays, lead workshops. In fact, everything you can blah, 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 blah.
Imagine there are probably
blah, blah,
volunteers
blah.
involved.
Okay.